Hi, it's Jonah, and today we are going to take a look at how you can do motion tracking in DaVinci Resolve 17. So you can add graphics like the one that's following me around. So let's get started. Alright, perfect. We have DaVinci Resolve open. So our first spot we're going to go to is here on the Edit tab. Once we're here, we're going to quickly import our media by right-clicking and clicking on Import. Once you find your media, you might get a prompt to change your frame rate, in which case I would say go ahead. Once you have your clip, you now drag and drop this to your timeline down below. Perfect. Next, we're going to click on the Fusion tab to work with motion tracking. Now, the biggest thing to keep in mind is you don't need to motion track your entire clip. So if you need to make it shorter, be sure to cut this short. So for today's example, I'm going to do that. I'm going to press the letter B to bring up the razor tool. I'm just going to do a quick edit, the letter A to select, and I'll just make my clip short just like that. Awesome. Now we're back to the Fusion tab. The biggest thing to understand about the Fusion tab is we're working this way from our original clip to the one that's going to be outputted. Alright, so let's first make sure we're at the beginning of our clip, and we're going to right-click and add a tracker. We're going to go to Add Tool, down to Tracking, and click on Tracker. Next, we're going to click this arrow and connect it by dragging it to the first spot here, and then from the square back to Media Out. That way, the tracker's following what we're doing here. Next, we're going to move our tracker where we want it. If we hover our mouse over the tracker, up in the upper left-hand corner is a square. If we click and drag that, we can position this where we want this tracker now. Next, if we go to one of the corners, we can click and drag and make this tracker space a little bigger for what it's covering. That looks perfect. And of course, I can always look down here where it says tracker 1 to see what it's covering. Now, I can tell it to go through my clip. Awesome. Once it's done, I see this little dialog box. And now I'm going to add the graphic. So now I'm going to right-click, go to Add Tool, down to Input Output, which is I/O, and then choose Loader. From here, I would go find my graphic. In this example, I'm going to load in my subscribe button. There, I loaded my subscribe button. And the next thing I want to add is a transform. So I'm going to right-click one more time, go to Add Tool, down to the option for Transform, and click Transform. Now it's connected all. Now, depending on your workflow, you can click and drag around these nodes to make it cleaner. It's your space, you make it work. So we're going to click the square, drag it over to the arrow, so that way it's being sent through the transform tool. From the transform tool, we're going to click the square, drag it down to the tracker. That way we have this flow. We're not going to see it just yet, but that's okay. Next, I want to make sure I have my transform tool selected because I'm going to see the little gizmo. With the gizmo, if I click and hold down my mouse in the middle, I can move the gizmo around to where I roughly want this to be. Now I'm going to select my tracker, go up to click on Operations, click the little selection menu here, and click on Match Move. Now I can see that my subscribe button is big and in full view, but it's not quite where I want it. So I'm going to go back to Transform Tool one more time and move it. Let's move it over. Click and drag down the size. That way it makes more sense to where that. That looks awesome. Now with all that in place, I can see how it looks. So I'm going to click and go back to the beginning of my clip, press the spacebar, and see how this fully plays out. Awesome. As you can tell, it is actually following me around on Minecraft, so this works perfect. Well, with that, thank you for watching this video and learning how to do motion tracking in DaVinci 17. Hope you like it. Leave a comment down below what other things you want to learn in DaVinci 17. And if you want to learn more about DaVinci 17, be sure to check out the link to Sunflower Schoolhouse, where I have a class that will be launching soon. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.